Interesting. This has got to win us the game. Depress. Nice. Classic Ugin. You know what I mean? Just stealing the game. And I guess that's why we included him within the deck at a certain point, right? So we got Scorching Dragonfire here. I'm pretty sure. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today, R is for removal via mono red, building into Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. We have a couple really cool things to get there within the deck, like getting it out early via Irencrag feat. And it's not just Ugin that we go for with the feat. We also have really cool things like Chandra, Heart of Fire, Sundering Stroke. So this is a mono red control deck, which is very unique. It's not something that you really get the opportunity to showcase often, and it makes for some really good matchups because it's not a frequent flyer within the current meta. So we'll talk about the deck list, the strategies, the synergies, get into some gameplay footage, then wrap up with our closing thoughts. If you do find any value within the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to a friend, and of course hit that bell icon so you're notified of all our future uploads. We have a 500,000 gem giveaway, free cash prize tournaments every single month for all and artisan. All that is available within the Discord. That's in the Linktree link in the description below. And then we also have the Overwolf link right beside it for the MTGA Arena Assistant add-on. That's what I'll be using today. You know, not only myself, but every single pro player is using this add-on. So check it out. It's a free download via the Overwolf link in the description below. Deck write-ups, deck videos, metagame analysis, deck tracks, so much stuff going on there. So now that you got the sales pitch, let's get right into it. We've got 3 copies of Spikefield Hazard and Spikefield Cave. This is the MDFC coming in tapped, adding a red to our pool at instant speed, dealing 1 damage to any target. If a permanent dealt damage this way, it would die. You know, it would be exiled instead. This is great for a couple reasons. It picks up Cobras, you know, any early game drops at instant speed, which is absolutely amazing. And because it is instant speed and it results in the exile, when something like Kroxa hits the field and sacrifices itself and then will be replayed from the graveyard later, we can just attach this onto it and it goes straight to exile. So this is one of the only ways and better ways to deal with the other Rakdos decks running Kroxa, is exiling it on the stack, because a 6/6 creature is a lot to deal with. So today the deck does focus around taking down Dimir Rogues and the Rakdos decks if we can. You know, you can only ask so much of your matchmaking. So Spikefield Hazard is great. You know, you can tag it onto some of your other damage spells as well to just grab the exile effect for 1, which is also pretty cool. So if there's any time there's something that you need to get rid of that you don't want coming back from the grave, you know, Spikefield Hazard is going to get you there. Speaking of things with a similar effect, Scorching Dragonfire for 2, instant speed, dealing 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If it would die, exile it instead. A similar effect, it costs a little bit more, but it does a little bit more damage, which is really cool. The downside of Scorching Dragonfire, it's not all upsides. The downside is that you can't play it as a land if you need, and that's why Spikefield Hazard is so important within the deck, because just the multi-utility that you get with the MDFCs is through the roof. We've got 4 copies of Fire Prophecy at instant speed for 2, dealing 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand to the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. This is great as we are cycling through our deck at an expedited rate, trying to find a couple key components for our combo. Fire Prophecy will not only remove our opponent's creatures, helping us survive later on into the game as we are a control deck, but it will help put us put the pieces together. Into our 3 drops, we have 4 copies of Soul Sear at instant speed, dealing 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. This takes out any of the gods, right? Helioid is around, Thassa still makes an appearance sometimes, and then we can also just deal 5 damage to a planeswalker, which is great. That picks up a lot of the 4-drop planeswalkers. Garruk, for example, comes in as 4 pluses to 5, and you can just eat it up right there on the battlefield at instant speed. Moving forth, we have 4 copies of Valakut Awakening and Valakut Stoneforge, the rare MDFC for red, coming in tapped, still adding red to our pool, and at instant speed putting any number of cards from our hand into the bottom of our library and drawing that many cards +1. There's really no downside here. Typically, we have to discard cards to the graveyard to draw, but these are just going into the bottom of our library and we're taking right off the top. It's like a universal cycle. In my opinion, this is very, very good. Moving forth, we have 4 copies of Irencrag Feat. We talked about this for 4 sorcery speed, adding 7 mana. The only downside here is you can only cast 1 more spell this turn. So, you know, do your casting early on, then we have 1 more spell to do, drop your feat, and do the big finale. You know, you can also just make sure that you have 5 mana. You use this for 4, 1 left over, add 7, you have 8 total, and there's your Ugin. And then we have a couple other things that you can ramp into that we'll get to in a second. We are a control deck, so we're surviving. We need to, you know, reset the aggro and mid-range decks. We do this through Storm's Wrath at sorcery speed, dealing 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. We'll probably hit our planeswalkers sometimes, but it's more important to just survive in general. Moving forth, we have 2 copies of Chandra, Heart of Fire, talking about things that we can sometimes hit. We won't kill her, but we could damage her. She comes in with 5, so she survives it. +1, discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library until end of turn. You may play cards exiled this way. This is absolutely amazing because red has the, you know, the habit of losing their hand, not having a lot of draw effects within, and then they've burnt out and you can just pile in. So, you know, when we do burn our hand out to 0, we do have the ability to +1 here, discard our hand, which should hopefully be 0 cards. It doesn't have to be, but then we're exiling the top 3 cards of our library and we're able to play those until the end of turn. So that's really cool. It's like a draw 3 every turn basically. +1, dealing 2 damage to any target, and -9, searching your graveyard and library for any number of red instances and or sorcery cards, exiling them, shuffling our library, and then casting them this turn. We get to add 6 mana as well. So taking basically anything we want from our graveyard or our library and casting it. Speaking of, you know, great ways to get that mid-range and late game control engines and consistency going through the draw, similar effect to Chandra's +1 is the Ox of Agonas. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards, escape for 2, exiling 8 other cards from our graveyard, and the Ox escapes with +1/+1 counter on it. So when we escape it, we need to take note of not getting instances and sorceries because we can replay those from the graveyard with Chandra, but that's, you know, really minuscule. It's not important. The great thing here is we can cast it as our last card, draw 3 cards, and we've just refilled our hand for another few turns, and we can keep going. We also have 2 copies of Sundering Stroke. This is really cool, and I wish I could run more copies of this card within the deck. It's so powerful. It's just hard to use 4 copies when you pull it early game without the combo pieces. So dealing 7 damage divided to 1, 2, or 3 targets if 7 red mana, and of course that will always be the effect because of the mono red deck is spent, then it will deal 7 damage to each of those 3 targets. We can't pile on and deal them all to 1, which is sad, but we can take out 2 creatures, a creature, a planeswalker, and still deal 7 damage to the opponent, which is really cool. It's very good value. And you know, it does cost 7, so we can play it on turn 4 potentially if our opponent is you know, going massive aggro. Maybe they've got a Love-Struck Beast or something like this in play that typically we can't deal with. You know, we do have the Soul Sear, but you know, there's some big bodies within the metagame right now, and the Sundering Stroke can help you deal with that. We've got 4 copies of Yidaro, Wandering Monster, and 8/8 with Trample and Haste. So this is going to make a huge impact when it enters the game a little later on, or it could be early with the feat. We are playing the control variant, so we just like to cycle it for 2 typically when we don't use our instant speed removal. When you cycle it, it goes back into your library from your graveyard, and if you cycled it more than 3 times, so like on the 4th time, it will actually come into the battlefield instead of your graveyard, which is really cool. So we've got the massive draw within Valakut Awakening. We can cycle the Yidaros back to the library and eventually be playing it for free while we get into our Ugin the Spirit Dragon, which can again just control the whole board state. 7 loyalty, +2/3 damage to any target, -X, exiling each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more color, so obviously just nothing colorless. And then -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield, which should win you the game. We have Chandras, we have the Oxes, we have the Yidaros, which should be in our library that we would mass draw, right? So there's a lot to do with Ugin the Spirit Dragon. And of course we have 21 mountains, which I'm going to adjust right now down to 19. and I need to add the Mythic land in because this would be a massive help, and our health points weren't even that big of an ordeal. I don't know why I don't see it. Here it goes. The Shatterskull Smashing will bring us up to 60. And now this can be paid for 3 life as a land, or it can enter tapped and you don't have to pay life. Obviously adds a red to our pool, and at sorcery speed for 2 plus X, dealing X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, the smashing will deal twice X damage divided as you choose among them instead. So not only is this good as a land, it's great as removal. As we are a control deck, you could probably run more copies than this than 2, but 2 is to be safe. And you know, it does also combo in with our feet. We can cast it for, what is it, 8, 9 total. So if we have 2 lands, then we cast our feet, so 6 total. Feet for 4. We have 2 leftovers. Smashing, you know, can get in for 8 total, whatever, and smash our opponent in for a massive amount of damage. Whatever that works out to be, it'll be great, and increase the consistency of your survivability. And again, taking out creatures or planeswalkers, which is really, really cool. Thanks for your time and attention. I hope you guys enjoyed today's gameplay footage. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel out to a friend, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our 500k gem giveaway. 500,000 gems. That's no joke, you guys. We also have free cash prize tournaments every single month, Brawl and Artisan, tailored to new players and beginners, free to play. It's a friendly area and environment for you guys to learn how to compete and you know, win some gems on me to complete your collection. Again, thanks for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. If you want to support, you can do so on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, our Amazon link, and you know, just reach out to me in Discord. I'm sure we can work something out. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Enjoy today's gameplay footage for R is for removal. I know I had a blast playing this deck, and I know you'll enjoy it. Take care, and we'll see you in a few minutes for our wrap-up thoughts. All right, this is a little awkward, but we'll keep it. We do have our exile within the Dragonfire, so we don't really need the cave. More removal within our Soul Sear. We'll use that on Helioid. Oh yeah. Barbecue tonight, baby. And we're curving into our 4th land, which is great. Looking for a Chandra. Mini Yidaro, an Ox. Sided Giant, baby. We're good for a while now, I think. We pull our first Yidaro, which is great. We're just gonna cycle it out. If we don't use our mana. We do have 4 available. Hopefully it replaces itself. No, not quite. Pass our turn. We need a payoff spell for our feet. A 1/1 I'm not, you know, concerning myself with, nor will I use our removal on it. I'll just double up with the Wrath at a certain point. You know, the Stroke can hit it as a target as well, wherever. It's like mono white control. What a life to live. We can take 1 damage. I mean, I'll go down to 15 before I start to really concern myself, I think. Really? Why don't these have cycle on them, right? We can get rid of them with the, oh, what is it? The Awakening, Valakut Awakening. Let's pass our turn. Sitting on a full hand, so I mean, I may as well Soul Sear eventually. Having 3 dead cards in hand is just such a good feeling. I mean, we could also, you know, deal 1 to each of these and 5 into the henhouse. That might be an efficient way to use our Stroke here. Probably, right? Well, well, well. Let's do it. We'll Awakening next turn. So right now, we just go into our stroke. Right? 1 target, 2 target, 2 target, 3 target. And we want to deal 1, 1, and 5. Perfect. And now, because mana spent was 7 red, it will still deal 7 to each of these targets. So they won't go down to 17, they'll go down to, what, 15? Right? Yeah, totally. Okay, so even though you still select it the first way, the damage just does 7 anyways, which is great. Let's pass, and we're gonna draw a new hand. Maybe we'll keep the Storm's Wrath. That feels fun, right? We could even just do that multiple times at a certain point, right? I cut the stroke because I thought, well, it could be really useless in certain matchups, but it would go great here again. We should double down or play it safe and just take it out. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with doubling down, but we should still maybe just continue to play it slow. I mean, it's a big discard already, so we can put a few more land out. We did incorporate 2 copies of Ugin after the first match. I was like, well, if it's going to go that long, that's what they're just going to do to us, then we do have to run our own Ugin. We can't rely on Yidaro. Down to 15, though. That's that point we were talking about, where it kind of gets a little bit weird. Daxos in play. Nice. We're sitting on 5. I think we just pass and play on their turn. I don't want to Awakening quite yet, I don't think. I mean, maybe we should just be going for it more aggressively. I want to kill this 0/4, even though we're not playing an aggro deck. Just so much value. Right? Some Shatterskull Smashings, big brained. That would go in great with the deck. How do we not have that already? That's why I play and upgrade the decks as we go, you guys. Fine tune it and you get the final edition. And, you know, this isn't great. Whatever, let's just, try to mitigate a bit of this damage. I mean, we need to save the Sear for Helioid, is the thing. So they're still gonna make a 1/1, but it's a 1/1. Right, that's all it is. So let's clean up Daxos and the Defender. Keep the Mountain to discard, or we continue to build to 8 and we just play Ugin like crazy people. Right? We're gonna have to Awakening the Soul Sear way. If there's no Helioid, we're gonna toss it, I think. They can play their own Ugin. Lord Almighty. Right? I'm surprised they haven't played multiple cards each turn. They're really trying to grind this out, I guess. So Yidaro's great. Let's cycle that for the second time. Is that second or first in this match? That might be the first. Another Sundering Stroke. Interesting. At sorcery speed. Why not? Right? We can Soul Sear whatever else happens to hit. Our stroke, our 2 targets, it doesn't matter what we select because no, it just does 7 to each of them, even though it says 4 and 3. Right? Good to know. Pass our turn. They make another token. They have a lot of cards in their hand, I'll give them that. We may need another Storm's Wrath if we can't find Ugin. Tactician. That's okay. We get hit for 1, down to 11. Getting pretty tight there. Getting uncomfortable. I want to use the Awakening, but there's no cards to discard really. They're all so good. And our opponent is applying pressure. Let me tell you what. Taking the Tactician out. Down to 9. Making me uncomfortable. I might just draw 3 and toss our Soul Sear. Right, we have to make a move. Should have kept Yidaro, but then they probably just have Exile. Yeah, because this is just going to get worse. Let's take the 2 damage. Keep the removal on top. Alright, we get land, we get an Ugin. And we should have kept our beat to play the Ugin because we don't have it now, but we'll get there. Right, that's 7. We're so close. We have 2 copies of removal. We will use the Fire Prophecy first for the draw so we don't have to discard Ugin. Right? Still getting hit for 1 here, probably. And we need to top deck a land. Do we discard or do we just remove? We have to choose first. I think we go for it. Oh, good thing we did, because that is not a land. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not a land. That is, though. Ugin might just get exiled here. We get to -0, which is rare.
An opportunity to act rash is a chance to fail.
A nice way to wipe tokens basically for free. But Castle Ardenvale makes another creature every turn, and we're in a bad spot. Right? Only 7 life. They're down to 12 though, so we can put the pressure on them, I think, here soon. Right? We can deal 5 damage per turn. Oh! Nice. We lose Ugin. That hurts. There's no drop. We're in with Chandra. Let's play the land, discard our hand. And then we draw a couple cool cards here. Nothing great to play, just another Chandra. Down to 7. I wish red castle could make little dudes. That'd be awesome. So we lost our Ugin, that's not great. Chandra takes the place though and can burn through our library, finding great cards for us here. Discard your hand, then exile up to the top 3 cards of your library until next turn. Sorry, until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way. They're gonna get lots of draws here. We can wipe it. It sucks. We have to get rid of it though. And then we still plus for the draw. Really? Just getting these out of the way, I guess. Having the Storm Wrath go to the graveyard does suck though. We should be dealing damage with Chandra. I'm being greedy. I'm being so greedy. Right? How are we not drawing Yidaros? How are we not drawing Yidaros, man? Shoot. That Storm's Wrath would come in handy here soon. Going the distance, regardless. We have more Ugins we can draw. No, it's not the end of the line. They're focused on Chandra now, which is so good for us. Let's nuke Daxos. We have 7 mana. How do we not draw multiple things? Discarding, like, it's gonna pay off. It'll pay off. It'll pay off. Perfect.
I can be a little reckless. So what?
This will draw us a real hand. These are in exile. And we can cycle Yidaro. Or we could... Yes. Oh, we can't cycle it. We can only cast it. I see. Let's just... Actually, we can do this later. Right, because that's in our hand. Or we could spend all of our mana, toss these 2 to draw 3. I think it is what it is. Let's just hold up our Fire Prophecy. We're coming through late game with the Ox. I mean, they're putting so much pressure on us every single turn, though. Let's burn this before the Summoning Sickness comes off of it, because I don't want to tap our Ox. We're going to decline. We're going to keep the Godzilla handy. I might just play it. Right? Why not? We've got the mana to go crazy about it. Play for Team Greed, just get Yidaro in as an 8/8. Start trampling in. They're at 13. We can get some DPS going here, you know what I mean? Eye level 5,000, looking for raid. No way. They've indestructible. Nice. So that's really good. Really good. What I would give for a Sundering Stroke. No, we don't get it. Shoot. So we're dead in the air. So to cycle Yidaro. The Soul Sear helps. Right, we can grab a flyer. We can discard our hand with Chandra for a big old draw. We gotta find some goodies here. Another Ox. Down to 2 mana. We need removal on that flyer right now. There's a new Gano. Man, I wish we had the land. Do we play defensively and block the tokens? A really good match here. I've had a lot of fun. Grab a leg, man. This has been a great time. Let's see what they've got for us. We're ready to drop Ugin again. The Oxes are ready for their Kamikaze. The Angel is the only attacker here on Chandra. Ugin can -0. The Oxes stay alive. This is key. Interesting. This has got to win us the game.
Perfection is a journey, not a destination.
Depress. Nice. Classic Ugin. You know what I mean? Just stealing the game. And I guess that's why we included him within the deck at a certain point, right? So we got Scorching Dragonfire here. I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't even mind if they... Let's see if they block first. I'd rather block and keep the Dragonfire in hand. You know what I mean? And then we can instant speed their next play. Well, let's take it now. I don't want to lose the Ox. So we should have done it earlier, maybe. I don't know. Weird. Awkward. Awkward. Let's keep the land in hand in case we do get a what is it? Yeah, Valakut Awakening. And we are down to 15. They're at 34. They get a Shatter. Hot dog. The Oxes we can replay. They do not have haste, though, and we got plenty of cards to get us there. We have lethal in 3.
Do not ignore my draconic talents.
Nice. What a match. Woo! All right, so this doesn't look great. This also doesn't look great, but it does seem to be a lot better. Let's toss the feet. What good is it if we have nothing to cast with it? I mean, we could go into our Godzilla, but we'd have to, what, then sacrifice our removal or a Landros? I guess we could have tossed the Spikefield Hazard. I kind of want to play one taps and then use the other one, though, is what I was thinking. If you want inside the mind. So they're playing slow. That's great for us. But now if it's what I think it is, we don't want to play slow. If there's a Kroxa here, which I do think it is, turn 2 Kroxa, that's got to be one of the greatest plays to make as a Rakdos deck, right? Let's go right for it. The Tome. All right, that's annoying. Whatever. Enters tapped. We have Storm's Wrath to clean up real creatures. Fire Prophecy can toss whatever, and we can draw. We could also just, like, if things get that bad, use our Awakening to refresh our hand. It's kind of weird. We're running a, you know, a removal. R's for removal, or red is for removal, whatever. But you know, if they're playing control as well, it does make things a little awkward. The Bonder's Enclave is cool. Draw a card. They have to tap it for 4 total, and they do need a creature with power 4 or greater in play. So it's going to be unique. That creature will be Kroxa though, and if we can just exile them as soon as they're entering, that should be okay. That makes me think that we shouldn't have played this Spikefield. I thought if we could play one, they'd be like, ah, they played their Spikefield, and then they'd fall into it, but it appears not. We're pulling land quite nicely though. We have the removal. We can start cycling our Yidaro, which is quite interesting. Once we cycle Yidaro 4 times, it just enters play, which is really cool because even if it gets removed and we find another to cycle it, it already has been cycled 4 times, so it'll re-enter. Woof. Alright, 3 mana, 2 tomes, not a good look for us. Right, especially when we're sitting on all this creature removal. Tossing Yidaro in. Scorching Dragonfire is not bad. It can deal with Kroxa in a similar way. We're just holding on, right? This is going to be a unique matchup that, like, I don't know when the last time that I seen red control versus red control, like maybe Grixis versus Grixis a while back, but interesting, right? I mean, of course ours is homemade jank, so a little different, but so I mean, we'll probably just snag this, take the damage. We'll toss the land, I think. Or Storm's Wrath, because there's no creatures. That makes sense. Okay. We will have to manage our life total. There are 4 Kroxas around somewhere. Obviously not in their hand. Land in play. The Soul Sear is kind of gross. I mean, we could toss 3 and draw 4, keep our feet, and do some shenanigans, but I mean, seeing that they're a control deck, we play our Chandra, gets removed, right? We play Yidaro, gets removed. The Ox would be nice. That's a good option, as it has some form of replayability. We should toss our Soul Sear at the very least. They're just gonna look for an Ugin, I guess. A Simulacrum. That's a good way for us to use our Soul Sear. They'd get the draw from it. And I actually didn't include Ugin in the deck. I was like, you know what? We don't need to be that guy. But you might want to be that guy, right? We'll keep the land in hand to discard, I think. We're sitting on 5. Let's pass our turn, right? Because if we could just stack cards to discard with our Awakening, that's great. We don't necessarily need the 8 land in like they do. I mean, what a slap in the face, right? We choose not to include Ugin, and we're going to get beat by Ugin, right? Ah. Ah. Let's do it. Let's shoot all 4. We'll draw 5. We do want the feet on top, I guess. Also, no, we'll have plenty of mana. We just want the removal. Alright, we grab Yidaro again, which we can cycle right now. That's quite nice. I enjoy that. This will be the second cycle of Yidaro. We do have our Sundering Stroke that can kill whatever they play. And then we're basically just kind of resting on it. Sundering Stroke could be played in combination with Fiery Emancipation to deal lethal in 1. And I think in this match that might actually work, unless we just play it, then there's a Ugin minus, but at least we have an answer for Ugin. We did pass 1 Wrath already to the bottom. Making them work for it. They're down to 36 already. Holy. Add 2 more to the pile, baby. Alright, we have unlimited mana. These feats are useless at this point. I would love more Yidaro. All of these tome draws. We're down to 12, so that's not good either, right? Alright. There he is. The +2 is really aggressive. We need to pull more removal. Sundering Stroke's not enough. Oh! Of course, more land. How many land could we possibly pull? Yeah. Is this not, I have 7 red mana. I don't understand. Oh, I see. It's divided. Jesus. Losing my mind. Right, I want to do the most amounts. Does that not work? I've lost my mind. Do we really only get 7? I thought it was 7 to each. I'm so confused. The 7 damage divided. We know that though. That's what happened. 20 or 3 targets. If at least 7 red mana was cast, spent the spell, it should deal 7 damage to each of those permanents. Did we not cast that with 7 red mana? I'm so confused. Oh, I guess I did deal 7 damage to them though, right? They were at 28. Now that we actually look at it. It was weird that it wouldn't divide out properly. That seems strange. They're taking a big draw with the Awakening as well. I think that's an underrated card. Very good. Just like, there's no, they don't go to the graveyard. You just basically get a draw. So if we don't pull removal on Ugin, the game's over. And even then. Well, now we need another stroke to hit 3 of these targets. Which we do have, but that's not it. We do get a draw. which is great. I mean, the hut's not what we need. We just get to draw 2, which, you know, we still have to take. We could wait till next turn, but that would be it. Oh! Where's all this land coming from? Nice. I mean, yeah, Crawling Barons can just buff up and hit us. Good game. Alright, big whoops. Ours for removal is a bomb. Make sure to play this deck. Let me know in the comments how it worked out for you. If you made any intelligent-based edits, right? Throw your big brains at the deck list. I'd love to see what you guys come out with. You're a great bunch. You guys are really tuned into the not only the game, but the meta game, whatever you want to call it. So again, I really appreciate your time and attention. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We've got new merch coming out soon, so I hope you're ready. If you have any requests as to what objects you want merchified, let me know. I'm not going to produce anything that you guys won't buy. Obviously, maybe no throw pills or something, but if you want a hat, a zip up hoodie, let me know and we'll get into it soon. And we've got some really cool designs for you guys coming out, so join the Discord. We've got 500,000 gems to give away, you know, hundreds of dollars every month in tournament prizes. You know, a great community, friendly people who will help you improve at the game and can coach you, whatever you need, right? So check us out, join the Discord, download the assistant in the Overwolf link. I get a whole 80 cents from every download, high roller, if you know what I mean. You know, it's gonna be great, and I use it every single day, so that should be enough for you guys. Thanks again, enjoy the wrap up, and go watch yourselves another video. Take care, have a good day.
Nice.